So welcome everybody. This is the Route 91 Heart Peer Support Information Session for 2023. We are super glad you are here today. And we are joined today by Jill and Jackie, who will be introduced in just a moment.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys all for joining us. I wanted to start by introducing the Heart team. You heard from Alice. She is our lead coach, and Alice also is the support group facilitator for the Wednesday noon meeting. Alice jumped in pretty much right after Route to help volunteer with the Resiliency Center, to help those of us who were there, and has been leading the support group meeting for over 2 years, almost 3 years now. And then we have Jackie. She is consulting with the Resiliency Center. She's one of our Heart coaches. She leads the Wednesday evening support group meeting, and Jackie as well jumped in right away to help routers just from the mental health side. And I'm Jill Winter. I'm the lead peer mentor, and I was at Route as well.
So how did the peer support program come to be? When Route first happened, everybody would turn to social media. They were turning to social media for information and for support, and I'm going to call it the Route community really grew tight very fast, trying to encourage one another along the way. Terry Keener was the original behavioral health coordinator at the Vegas Strong Resiliency Center, and she saw what was going on. She saw how peer support was helpful, but also she saw kind of the pitfalls of not being able to have support for the people who were supporting others. And so she reached out to a nationally known person who creates peer support programs. And so she thought a little bit more structure would be good for the Route community, so that everybody would have somebody supporting them. Jill, can we go to the next slide? The person that we consulted with is Cherie Castellano, and she's out of Rutgers. Her program is called Reciprocal Peer Support, because both the person receiving support and the person giving support get something out of it. You know, it's Cherie created all these other programs, the Cop to Cop program, there's a Mom to Mom program, there were vet to vet kind of type program. But what's unusual about Heart is that everybody experienced the same trauma that day, that night. So ours was a little bit of a different situation, but Cherie's program that she had developed and she's won awards for was incredible. So we took what she had. She trained us the first time. We took what she had and then adapted it to the Route 91 community. So we are very, very happy with Heart and how the trainings have gone in the past, and how it doesn't leave anybody without support.
What is Heart? Heart stands for Healing, Empowering, and Rebuilding Together. We actually established this program a little over 2 years ago. And Alice and I, Terry, have built this program from the ground up. And as Alice said, we kind of adapted Cherie's model to fit a trauma that we had all experienced together. It is based on the reciprocal peer support model. And we're promoting the hope and resilience by working with everyone to focus on what is strong and not as what is wrong with the person. So we want to highlight the strength and the resilience that everyone has. At the same time, we're providing support for the challenges that we're all going through. We definitely want to emphasize that Heart is for everyone who was affected by Route, whether they were in the venue or not. You know, we have so many people who are community responders, loved ones who might have been on the other end of the phone. They were all impacted in different ways. And I do know a lot of routers who had family on the other end of the phone, and those family members have been diagnosed with secondary PTSD. So this truly is for everyone, whether you're in Vegas, whether you were at the concert, whatever, it is for everyone. So what is a heart peer mentor? We were all impacted by route in various ways, and we have a strong desire to help and support other people. We've all worked on ourselves, worked on our healing journey. Doesn't mean that we're all 100% healed, but we are on that path, and we know that we can provide support to other people who are trying to get on that path. We understand what our peers have experienced and some of the struggles they're facing. And I think for most of us, we obviously we saw things differently, but we've also talked to other routers who may have given us some tools they've used that we're like, hey, I can share this with other people. So we focus on the wellness needs and strengths of our peers, and we help identify those needs and build on those strengths and resources. We've been trained to offer support, and there's so many ways that we can offer support, understanding the relationships, helping them focus on self-care. I know for me, self-care was kind of a foreign word before route and the therapy and on-site. Self-care to me was a manicure. That's not what self-care is. Peer support is not therapy. We're not professional counselors. We're trained in best practices, but we are not licensed mental health clinicians. We are supported by mental health professionals, which is wonderful, but there are times that we need to, tell our peer, hey, we have a limitation. And I also want to point out that this is a volunteer position. So we want you guys to do it on your time when you're available to do it. And we're definitely not expected to have all the answers. Quite often, what people really need is somebody to listen to them, to be there to support them. So we asked some of our mentors to give us the reasons why they were interested in becoming a mentor. So these are just a few of the reasons. We have a mentor who not only was at Route, but was at the Gilroy Garlic Festival during that shooting. And this person was coping through alcohol, and it nearly took their life. They've been sober ever since. And, we know that with trauma, oftentimes there's substance abuse because people are trying to hide that pain. I think one of the biggest things is to let people know that they're not alone. So often when you go through something like this, especially because it's still, as common as it is, unfortunately, it's still pretty uncommon. And I'm sure a lot of us have experienced friends and family who just don't understand. So there are times that you feel very alone, but we're here to let people know that they are not alone. Again, talking to other people who understand. We have community responders who face something differently than we did. We have a mother of a router. She was the one who was on the receiving end of that phone call, and the stress of having her daughter not knowing what was going on. People who have found healing through support and working with specialists. And people who want to offer hope to those who are still struggling.
So we wanted to make it really clear what the requirements are to become a heart peer mentor. You guys are here today. You obviously have a heart to help other people, and that's awesome. We do an 8-week training. 8 hours of training, rather, over 4 weeks, and the dates are up here. We make sure that we give you guys a little bit of homework. It's not like hard homework. It's more like, these are things to be thinking about this week, and then we come back and speak about it the next week. There is 1 hour of QPR training, which is a specialized training on suicide awareness. And so that will be in addition to the training that we'll do with you guys. We have 4 hours of large group practice sessions over 2 weeks. And we just emphasize key areas of the training during that time. And that gives everybody a chance to get any butterflies out. Because like right now, any of you guys, I know you could just start talking to somebody and you'd be fine. But suddenly when we make it, when you're an official, it makes it more official, your tongue starts to get tied up a little bit. So getting to having those practice sessions, you get to practice with each other, and then that way it just becomes very, very natural. We assign you guys a person to practice with, so you get a chance to practice in pairs. And there are competencies that we will be looking for. Are you paying attention to the material, or do you, and not in a like a weird testing you, like we're wanting to set you up to succeed. So we teach you the things you need to know, and then we look to see if you're getting it. And if you're not, we'll figure that out, and we'll talk to you one-on-one. But I don't anticipate that being an issue. We'll go over the policies and procedures, because like with any program, we have some structure, and that's important. And we'll make sure you guys know what the structure is. We have an incredible manual that you'll have access to that has so many resources that you'll find benefit for yourself and for the peers you'd be working with. The commitment to confidentiality, Jill's going to tell you what that is, but it's important. If you find yourself, if you're somebody who can't keep a confidence, then being a peer mentor is not a good fit, because confidentiality is a really important part of the program. And then we have continued teaching. Once a month, we get together, we talk about what's going on with our peers, how things are going. And then also we have some type of continued training. Jill, we've alluded to the heart coaches, which we'll explain more in a minute, but they will speak during the meetings. Somebody will take maybe 20 minutes and focus on some area that has come up. Perhaps it's about, people are saying that they're having a lot of nightmares, so we'll have somebody talk about nightmares or whatever it is. But we continue. It's not just having the 8 hours of training and then you're finished. We continue that training ongoingly. And then you have check-ins, and you might have a monthly meeting with your coach as well. So those are all done on a regular basis, so that you'll know when to plan for it. Next one. So this is just kind of a little bit of glimpse of things you're going to be learning. There are 4 tasks of peer support in this reciprocal peer support model. The first task is connection and presence, which is you getting to know somebody, connecting with your stories and your experience. The next one is information gathering and risk assessment, where that's where you're keeping your ear out for, or if there's any concerns about how if they're being destructive in any way. And you're getting to know them, just like you, not a friend, but like a friend, you're just getting to know someone. And then the next one is, people generally have something that they want to be working on, and we do want to work on strengths. And so goal setting and wellness plans is something we go over. And then weaved throughout it is things that create resilience and affirmation and praise, because the important part about getting together is validating one another, validating your experience, validating your feelings. And that can be really, really powerful. Jackie and I may work with routers, but because we weren't at the venue at the same time, our words are going to go so far. But you guys as peers, when you say something, it has so much important weight to it. And it's a really, really a beautiful thing to be able to share with someone, to be able to say, I have felt that too. And if you want, I'll share with you what I did to help me through it. There's something just very, very beautiful about that. And it's something that you guys can offer that a trained professional may not be able to. Next one. So here are the 8 dimensions of wellness, just real briefly. I just wanted you to see, we address the whole person. We don't just, when you get together with somebody, you don't just talk about route. You may talk to them a couple of times, and that doesn't, route's not the thing that's forefront in their mind. It might be something else. Might be some sort of physical or spiritual goal or social or intellectual goal. And we just go over these things with you guys so that you have things that you can do so that your peer has something positive to work toward.
So Alice mentioned confidentiality. This is something that we take very, very, very seriously. Just like if you go to your doctor or your therapist, you don't want them talking about things. We want people to feel comfortable talking and sharing their thoughts and feelings to us without the fear of it going anywhere else. So anything, whether you're talking with your peer, it is okay for you guys to talk with Alice, Jackie, or myself, or the coaches about something your peer is going through, but that's it. The only limitations, these are general limitations that are typical within any environment, is reporting child, elder, or dependent adult abuse, a serious sort of violence towards a reasonably identifiable victim, or a danger to themselves or the person or the property of another. So we had mentioned the coaches. Why do we have coaches? Our coaches are there to support us and help us support our peers. It helps them give guidance. We've had so many times that our mentors have been faced with a challenge from their peer, and they're not sure how to do it, to support them. So they will reach out to their coach and say, hey, can you give me kind of some guidance on how I can help support my peer? And it helps us become a stronger, better person and a better mentor. Also can provide some ongoing support for us as mentors. But what I want to emphasize is they do not replace our own therapist. We encourage all of our mentors to have their own therapists to help in dealing with our own day-to-day struggles. But if something that you're working with your peer activates you, then by all means, reach out to your coach, and your coach can help you with that. And our coaches also make sure that we're taking our own time for our own well-being and self-care. I know that I'm really guilty. It's so easy for me to help support other people and talk to other people about how important self-care is. But when it comes to myself, I am not good at it. And I thankfully have Alice and Jackie who remind me regularly that I need to be doing that, because it's so easy to forget about that. But when we are giving this energy of ourselves, it's so important to make sure that we are protecting ourselves too.
So just so you guys know, when you go through the program, you'll at the end you get assigned to a heart coach, and so that heart coach is also a volunteer. So the mentor, everybody's a volunteer. The mentors are volunteering. The peers get peer support voluntarily, and then our heart coaches. Right now, they are all licensed professionals, and they'll be assigned, like five mentors, and those are the people that this is the person that you call. So the first coach that I want to introduce is Jackie. She's awesome. Like Jill said, she was there from day one, helping survivors. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist. She's a drug and alcohol counselor. She's been in the Las Vegas for quite a while, and she's been working with the VSRC from day one. And in 2022, she liked it so much that she's going to be the behavioral health program consultant. She oversees heart. So,
and
Jackie,
we're laughing because she's
we're
on
laughing
with us.
Yeah, I'm laughing. Yeah, Jackie's awesome. Okay, and then Terry, you guys might know Terry from because she was the original program consultant. She is also a licensed marriage family therapist. She's been around this area again, the Las Vegas area, for over 30 years. She returned to private practice in 2022, but she's continuing She helped launch Heart, and then she's continuing with Heart as a coach. So she's a great resource, and you guys may have spoken to her in the past. Then we have Amy O'Neill, and Amy's super cool. She's a licensed professional counselor, and that she adds a little bit of different takes perspective, because she was actually a therapist and then became a survivor of the Boston Marathon bombing. So it's really interesting because as a therapist, she thought she didn't need any help. And so Amy's story is, she goes on, to tell us, yeah, even though she was a therapist at the time of the bombing, she did need help. And so she's a great support to the program as well. She's also a stakeholder for the National Mass Violence Victimization Resource Center. If you guys don't have the app Transcend, is that it, Jill? Yeah,
Yeah.
Transcend. It's phenomenal. It is for people who have been through a mass violence trauma, and it is written by people who've been through a mass violence trauma, and it's great for those people, and it's great for their families. So I would highly suggest the Transcend app. And then Leanna is, she's super cool too. She's marriage and family therapist and a licensed drug and alcohol counselor. She's been in the area for over 15 years. She's worked with Jackie, so she comes with a really great endorsement. And she works with routers in her private practice. So again, we've got these 4 heart coaches that are just great. And if there's ever a need to add more coaches, we'll make sure that anybody we have come on board with the program is of this type of quality, just exceptional people.
And there's also Alice and myself for support for you guys as well, for our mentors. I'm obviously not a therapist, but I was there, so I understand from that part of it too. So sometimes it's like, I get calls from mentors just saying, how do I handle this? And that's okay too. It's your coach plus Alice and I who are there to help support you, support the peer. So FAQs. How often do I meet with my peer? It's truly up to you and your peer. Some peers want to meet once a month. Some peers want to meet weekly. There's no right or wrong to it. It's whatever works for both of you. Generally these meetings, which are typically by phone, but generally they last for about 30 to 60 minutes, with the exception of the first one. The first one, when you're really getting to know them, can be an hour or a little bit more. But it generally seems like time wise, unless you get into a really good conversation, it's about 30 to 60 minutes. Again, the number of times you meet with a peer. We have some peers who started with us when we first started doing the peer support, who are still talking to their mentors. We have some other ones who, after 5, 10, 15 times are like, okay, I think I'm good. And that's okay. So there's no set limitation on any of this. We've got a lot of flexibility, and as long as it's working with your schedule, that's awesome. So how do I meet with my peer? Most of the time, like I said, it'll be by phone. If you live close by them and you are comfortable, it is okay to do in person or Zoom. It's up to your comfort level, first and foremost. We have some mentors who want to meet their peers. We have some who do not want their peers to know what they look like. So again, it is your boundary. It is up to you. We leave that ball in your court. There's no right or wrong answer to that. So if you knew somebody who is interested, who was not at route, they want to be a mentor, absolutely. Please let us know if they were impacted. We would love to have them on our team, because again, there are so many people other than just those of us who were there who were affected. So, and our mentors, we definitely have a wide variety of people who are mentors. We have some, those of us who were there. We have somebody who attended route but was not in the venue at 10:05 when the shooting happened, and they had a completely different trauma. and kind of felt like they didn't deserve the support that was there for those of us who were there, but they had their own trauma, so they needed the help. We had the community responders, and we had people who were friends of routers. And again, it's literally the whole gamut. We have men, women, parents, married, dating, single. I'm no longer with the person I was there at route with. And then we have somebody working the 12-step program. So it's literally a whole good cross section. And as we know, there was a whole lot of different people who at route. So it's nice to have this cross section for mentors too. So now that we've done the info session, you've heard a little bit more about becoming a mentor. If you have any questions, please let us know. But if you want to apply to be a mentor, you can complete the form on the VSRC website. You click on Give Support, Become a Supporter, and then Heart Peer Mentor. Or you can just go to vegasstrongrc.org/heart peer and fill out the form there. We do have some people who want to be a peer as well, and that's absolutely fine. If you want to do both, become a mentor and see how it is to receive it on the other end, you can sign up to do that at vegasstrongrc.org/heart.
Jackie, do you have anything you want to add before we open it up for questions?
I took my video off because it was unstable. I don't have any questions. I just, or any questions, anything to say, just to add in that, you know, as a licensed therapist, the structure of heart, the support of heart, and the value just can't be overstated. It is a very, very solid program, and it's, you know, design and the support not only for the peers, but the mentors and everybody. And it's just an honor to be part of it.
Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate that. Does anyone have any questions that you want us to address? No? Lori, it looks like you might be talking, but I can't tell.
I was looking for my mute button. My question is, so someone that reaches out to this program for support, how do they reach out, and how do the people get assigned to a mentor?
Yeah, great question. So the people usually sign up through the VSRC website, or they call in. And in the form that they fill out, we ask a few questions that kind of gives a little bit more of like a demographic background, so we kind of get a feel for them. And Jill and I will talk to them on the phone and find out a little bit more about them. And then as they're talking, generally one of the mentors pops into our head, because, you know, it's like, oh, this is a good person. They've got some work history that's similar. Or there are some sort of similarities that seem like it would make a really good match. And so we do it that way, and we match it, you know, and if the mentor that we have in mind is available at that time, then that's how they get matched up.
Okay.
And we try during the training and the monthly sessions, and even just, you know, talking with our mentors throughout the process, so to get to know a little bit more about you, so that we can get a feel for personalities. And I think we've gotten almost all of them right. You know, it's really hard to say if a personality is going to match, but we do the best that we can. And what we do tell our peers is, you know, and for our mentors, if this doesn't feel like a good match for you, please let us know, and we'll match you with somebody else. Because, you know, I know for me, I went to a therapist right after route who was not a good match for me, and I wouldn't have continued therapy if I had to stay with him. So we know that that's important to have people who are comfortable both on the mentor side and on the peer side. Does anybody else have any questions?
It's Yvonne. I question. I'm curious what the volume is like at this point.
Okay, so right now we do have some mentors that have not been yet matched with anyone. So it's not a high volume. However, we are continuing to get the word out. So if you guys know of anybody or know of pockets of people that we haven't yet reached, we would love to get the word out that this is available, because we're finding that there are some people who were impacted by route that aren't aware of any resources. And so we're expecting the program to continue to grow.
And it's our mentors who were in the venue at the time are all assigned to at least one, if not two, and I think one person has 3 peers. It's the mentors who are otherwise impacted. And unfortunately, the people who are otherwise impacted don't understand that these programs are for them as well. But what we do is before we assign a mentor to a peer to our mentor, we will call them or text them to make sure that they are able to take on somebody else. So if you have a lot on your plate, if you're a mentor, have a lot on your plate, you already have, either if you don't have anybody, you can't take anybody on, that's okay, let us know. If you have a peer and we ask you if you can take another one on and you can't, that's okay. We want to make sure that you are doing what is best for you first and foremost.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions? Alice kind of brought this up, whether you decide to become a mentor or not, if you know of some people who are impacted, if you can let them know about heart. The struggling that we go through and what we help support is not just route specific, but I know for me, 5 years later, there's things that I have challenges in life with that it's more of a challenge because of the trauma from route. I feel like I'm in a pretty decent place, but something comes up and it's like, I wouldn't have reacted like that 5.5 years ago prior to route. So that's what we are here for. It's not just the, people who need support from route specifically, but it's in life in general. So we are here for that.
Jill, I had one more thought real quick.
Yes.
The other thing that we found that, which is really pretty amazing, is that with only a couple of exceptions, the first group of folks who went through the training continue to be connected to the HEART program. And one of the reasons for that is that folks report that they really get something out of it, that just going through the training was healing for them, and attending the monthly meetings and hearing about new ways to cope and new strategies. And we've talked about everything from, gratefulness to sleep to, suicide prevention and resources. And so it's also something that, as we know, by giving back, you also receive. So it's pretty amazing in that way as well.
I'd like to expand on that. We do throughout the training and every month we talk about self-care, and that's not just for your peer, but it's for us too. Like I said earlier, I'm not good at it. I can talk about it till I'm blue in the face, but remembering to do it for myself really takes some effort. So it's the things that we talk about in the monthly meetings apply to everybody, both the mentor and the peer. So one of our mentors found this quote and we thought it was so perfect. So we now share it with all of our meetings, but sometimes we need someone to be there with us, not to fix the problem, not to offer advice, not to do anything in particular, to simply be present with what we're feeling, to show up and acknowledge what we're going through and hold a supportive, safe space for us to be with what's showing up for us. And it kind of goes back to oftentimes what the person needs is just somebody to listen.
Really, I really appreciate everybody taking the time today. If you guys have any questions, if we end the meeting and then all of a sudden you get a bunch of questions in mind, please feel free, reach out. You can take a little snapshot of our phone numbers and reach out to one of us, or email us at heartpeer91@gmail.com, and we'd be happy to talk to you more about whatever it is. If you're planning on doing the training starts this month. We're very excited about that. Do you have the date off the top of your head, Jill?
21st.
The
Tuesday,
21st. That's right. Okay, so
At
training
6
starts on
o'clock Pacific.
So we allow from 6 to 8:30 for the training, and generally it doesn't necessarily go quite that long, but we allow for that time just in case there are any questions.
And we do record the training. So if there's a Tuesday night that you're not available to participate in the training, we will send the training out afterwards, usually the day after, so that you can watch the video of it. We understand that sometimes it's hard to set six weeks aside, 6 Tuesdays aside. So we do have it available by video.
Okay.
Karen, did you have a question?
Okay, so it's 6 weeks or 4 weeks?
It's 4 weeks of training followed by
Oh.
2 weeks of practice sessions.
That's right. Okay, gotcha. I gotta write them down. Perfect.
Will that be the only training that's available?
So far this year, that's what we've got planned.
Okay, I'm just wondering because I just joined a board of directors and the meetings are Tuesday nights, but I want to look to see, because that's just once a month. So I want to look at the calendar and see and make sure I'd have all of those dates free.
Well, and remember too, Holly, with you being in Virginia, you're 3 hours ahead. So depending on the schedule of the meetings.
Yeah, I just heard you say you're going to do them from 6 to 8:30 Pacific time,
Yeah.
which
Mhm.
would take me to 5:30, and our board meeting starts at 5:45. So I may still be able to swing it. I just need to check the dates because, like I said, we only meet once a month for our board meetings.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, we understand that there's things like that, and that's why we record it. As much as possible, we do want people to be there live.
Right.
We want you guys to be able to interact, and this gives us a chance too to get to know you guys. But there absolutely are things that come up that it's hard to carve 6 weeks out.
So I know for me, Tuesdays, 6 to 8:30, I am otherwise committed, but on 3/7, I will certainly be able to attend in
Okay.
person.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, we just, and what we oftentimes do, if you do 2 or more by video, then Alice and I will meet with you just to see if you have any questions, because you're not able to ask them during the training. So we want to make sure that you're comfortable with the material, questions, issues, or anything like that. We want to be able to be there so that you're comfortable and able to provide support when the time comes for you to be paired with a peer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have any questions?
Is there a way to print this out, this little slideshow? How do I save that kind of thing?
We can send it to you.
Okay.
Do you do me a favor? I think we have your email address from the sign up, but if you would put it in the chat,
Sure.
I would appreciate it. And that way we know for sure that we have it.
Okay. You bet.
And if anybody else would like the PowerPoint, we can send it to you as well. If you would just put your email address in the chat, that'd be great.
Got it.
Great. Thanks, Yvonne. I got that. Okay. Anything else? Sure, Lori, got it.
Well, thank you guys so much. like we said, if you are interested in becoming a mentor, if you would go to the Resiliency Center website and fill out the form, and then we will be sending an email letting you guys, giving you the Zoom link and more information as we get started.